There are unforgivable errors that will send your application to the trash bin. Do you have constant vigilance? Welcome to UC San Diego's web series. This is your resume. I'm your host, King Triton, a limited liability company. Today's installment, the top of the resume. The contact information and education sections of your resume are among the most important, not because they contain information that will get you hired, but because an error there will spell certain doom. There's no more certain of a way of losing out on a job than for the hiring manager to not be able to catch you. Your contact information should have your name in a large font size, email address, phone number, and mailing address. Once you have your degree, consider adding the initials after your name. Additionally, use a professional-looking email address. Do not use something such as tfan420@hotmail.com, but consider something closer to Ph.D@gmail.com. Additionally, double-check to ensure it works and that it accepts emails from the company that you are applying to. Consider adding their domain to your email's whitelist. Also, be sure to either check that email frequently or have it set up to forward to an account you do check regularly. If a hiring manager gets a bounce back, your application won't bounce back. You can set up forwarding for your UC San Diego email address that will last up to a year after you graduate. And you can sign up with the Alumni Association, after you graduate, to get a UC San Diego email address that will last for life. Either yours or the university's, whichever ends first. Your phone number is no less important, but your mailing address is largely a formality. I would recommend including something there, but it doesn't need to be your full address. Generally speaking, hiring managers are intelligent people. They will recognize an email address without you labeling it as an email address, and likewise with other bits of information. You may wish to include a link to your LinkedIn profile, GitHub page, or other resources in the information section. This is perfectly acceptable, but keep in mind, these are unlikely to be referenced on the first pass. And likewise, you may want to use a URL shortener in order to ensure that someone may be able to type it into a computer. Do not include personal information in your contact information section, or on your resume at all. No photos, no lists of family members, no mention of your age, nationality, ethnicity, political party, religion, or favorite Horcrux. Nothing. Remember, your goal with the contact information section of your resume is to ensure that you are selected for an interview and that you can then be easily reached. As simple as it seems, hiring managers tell us this is no small feat. The education section, while similarly simple, is no less fraught with perils. Most job ads have 4 main sections: a general description of the company or organization, a list of duties, minimum qualifications, and finally preferred qualifications. While having more than 70% of what a job ad is asking for is a good match, those minimum qualifications are non-negotiable. And those minimum qualifications usually include education. If you lack the minimum degree or degree program, most hiring managers will immediately stop reading and move on. What does that mean for you? It means that you must be perfectly clear. Don't let the hiring manager accidentally assume that you do not have that minimum degree. List the institution you attended, its city and state, and country if outside the United States. Then use a right-aligned tab stop to include the range of attendance. Technically, only the estimated completion date or actual completion date is needed, but the range indicates to the reader that you are progressing in a timely and hopefully impressively quick manner. Directly below that, list the degree and field. If you have an honor that appears on your diploma, consider adding it here in italics, such as summa cum laude or summa magnum PI. In some, but not all fields, you will also need to list your GPA. Consider doing so below the date of attendance. How do you know if you should include your GPA? Always check to see how your field is unique, but generally speaking, engineering and financial fields are more likely to require them, with arts and humanities being less common. Additionally, only include it if it is not embarrassing. That too will vary by field, but as a rule of thumb, 3.0 or more for bachelor's, 3.5 or more for master's, and as close to 4.0 as possible for a Ph.D. Often you do not need to include GPAs from previous degrees. If you're a 4th-year Ph.D. candidate, your Ph.D. GPA is what matters, not your undergrad GPA. For scores from other countries, you may translate those into GPA or leave them in the original format as long as you provide context. Hiring managers probably won't be understanding the significance of a 9, but they are more likely to be impressed by a 9 out of 10. Only include college degrees. You can leave off your high school. You may include training and certificate programs, but only if relevant to the job that you are applying for. Alas, no one cares if you're a certified French pastry chef if you're applying for a job as a biomedical researcher. Mentors and theses do not usually belong in this section or on most resumes at all. The caveat is, include them if hiring managers will be impressed by your specific mentor or by your specific research topic. And even then, the education section is often a poor place to include that information. Finally, your coursework often should be included below your experiences, not with your education. But as always, specific needs trump general guidelines. If it's listed on the job ad, consider adding it or keeping it on your resume. Tune in next time as we delve into the summary and objective statements for your resume.